What's going on, everybody? Josh Pocock here, and in today's video we are going to be setting up your very own RAG system in n8n, retrieval augmented generation, and we're going to be using ZEP, Ollama, and OpenAI, but you can use whatever models you want. We're going to show you step by step how to set this up right now. Let's dive right in. Okay guys, so I've done many videos on n8n, I've done videos before on ZEP, I've done videos on Ollama, but I'm just going to go through all those briefly, show you how to set this up in n8n, and so you can have a RAG on your very own n8n instance, and ideally, I mean, if you're self-hosting n8n, which I've covered in many videos, so I'm not going to go through the whole overview of n8n. This is assuming you kind of know what n8n is. If you haven't, check out some of my other videos, but you can easily self-host n8n. Essentially a make.com or Zapier alternative that's a lot better. Anyways, so now that we got that out of the way, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna have n8n self set up, and if you haven't done all that, you can check out my video I did yesterday as well, and you may want to do that anyways because, like I said, you can use any model, right? You could literally use any model. You could use HuggingFace, you could just use OpenAI if you know, depending on what the case may be. But in this specific case, I'm going to show you how to do it with Ollama. So if you want to have Ollama set up on your say if you're hosting your n8n instance on a VPS, if you also want to be able to use Ollama models, open source models on your n8n, on your VPS, then you're going to want to check out my video I made yesterday because I show you how to do exactly that. Anyways, so this is Ollama. Check that video out. Link will be in the description down below. I'll also link a video I made a while ago about ZEP, but I'm going to quickly cover it right now. So ZEP right here, you can do a lot of cool things with ZEP. I'll do more videos with it, but this is just really showing you how to create a basic RAG system and that you can iterate on and improve upon, right? So ZEP, long-term memory for AI assistance, recall, understand, and extract ideas from chat histories, power personalized AI experiences. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole entire repo here. I'll leave a link to that. And this is their website. Pretty cool tool. You can integrate it in your development, in your apps, in different languages, of course. You can see here n8n, Python, TypeScript, Go, LangChain, LangFlow, Flowwise. So all the top tools. They have a Discord. They have pricing if you are using their cloud hosted one. I'm going to show you how to self-host it, and their docs are right here. And I'll leave a link to the docs right here, which literally walk you through self-hosting it. It's very simple. So to actually get started with n8n or with ZEP, you're going to go to the quick start right here, and you're literally going to run these commands: git clone, and then you're going to clone the repo. All right, I already have the repo, so I'm not going to run it, but that's what you would run. Then you're going to cd into that directory. So you would go cd ZEP, so change directory into ZEP. Okay, so just see. So right now I'm in my ZEP directory, as you can see here. Like if I went like this, now I'm in repos. So I would cd into ZEP after I cloned that. And then what you would do is you would create a .env file. Okay, I actually already have this file created, but you would create that .env file. All right, just if you don't know how to create a if you don't know how to create a file on Linux, just ChatGPT it. Like, create that .env file, and you're gonna want to put ZEP underscore OpenAI underscore API underscore key equals, and then your OpenAI key. Then at that point you could start the server, but what I would suggest is to put some of these. So you would want to put this one right, and I'll leave links to all this in the description so you can copy and paste this. These are just the environment variables. So ZEP OpenAI key, obviously put your OpenAI key right here, and then ZEP server web enabled equals true. And then this one, I don't even know if you necessarily need it. I'll leave it just in case, but you may not even need to put this one, to be honest. I actually don't think you do. I put it there because I was doing something else. But I'll put it there just in case you want, if you do need it. And then ZEP auth required, you could put that as true. And then ZEP auth secret. So we're gonna get the secret in just a second, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So once you do that, what you could do actually is you could. So what I would do once you put those environment variables in, I would just spin it up real quick. So start up the server, docker compose pull, and then docker compose up. And then this will start the Zep server on port 8000. Okay. And I put mine on a different port just because I was using 8000. 8000 is a pretty common port to use. So you could just start it up on a different server. And like, honestly, I would, if you don't know how to do anything like server commands or whatnot, that I'm like Linux commands that I'm going over, I would literally just say, how do I docker? Actually, what you could do, I think you may be able to, I was going to say, how can I docker compose up on a different port? So you could probably do it that way and just get the ChatGPT command. Or what you could do is you could go into the docker compose right here, and you could basically clone this repo, or you could fork this repo before Git cloning it onto your server, and edit the docker compose and just change the Docker image right here. Instead of it saying 8000 by 8000, you would put 4000 or 5000 or whatever you want, 3000, any other port by 8000. Okay, that's just going to point so that's if you're already using port 8000 for something. Okay, so that's one surefire way you could do it. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Once again, put it, if you already have 8000 taken, then you can just clone the repo or fork the repo in your GitHub account, and then change that port here, and then Git clone it into your server. Okay, so change the port first if need be, or you could just use port 8000 if it's not a big deal for you. If you are using Coolify though, which we've talked about in many videos, then Coolify uses port 8000, so you're going to want to use a different port. Okay, and then they have a SDK if you're, incorporating Zep into like your apps or anything. Production, let me just go back. So next, once you Docker compose up, you can go to your server IP and that port. So say if it's port 8000 or port 3000, so you go to your port and you'll be able to access the Zep interface, which looks like this. You can see dashboard, join a Discord, users, sessions. This is a new instance, collections. Okay, you can just see one right here, settings. Okay, and then all that good stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do now is authentication. So just to cover one more time what environment variables we're going to want to put in. So you have your OpenAI API key, you have the server web enabled, and you have auth required true. I believe you need that, and then your Zep auth secret. So how do you get your Zep auth secret? Well, there's two ways, and like I said, this will be linked in the description down below if you want to do it the other way, because you can use the Zep CLI. I didn't do it this way. I'm going to show you how to do it this way. So we're just going to generate a secret. So this is literally what you do. You would just go into for example, you could do it really anywhere, but I'm not going to SSH into my server right now, but I would SSH into my server. I'm just in a new tab, and then you would run openssl rand-base 64 and then space 64. So this is going to get you a specific token. So it's going to get you a line, a hashed code. Right now, once you get the hashed code, it's going to look like something like, I don't want to show you, but it's going to look like something like this. Okay, in your terminal. So when you copy and paste it from your terminal, you're going to have to remove the line break. Okay, I just hope that makes sense. So like, let's say I had my hashed thing right here, like this was a hash. It's going to be on two lines. It's going to be like this and like this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy it, for example, paste it over into a notepad, and then you're going to want to remove that line break. So it's just all on one line. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Now that you got that, you're going to go over to jwt.io. Link for that will be in the description down below. And what you're going to do is, now that we have our hash token or code right here, we're going to, I'm going to refresh this. You're going to delete this right here from the payload like that. and you're gonna go into where it says your 256-bit secret, and we're gonna paste this in. Okay, once we do that, we can copy this encoded token right here. So that's what we would use for our ZEP auth secret. Okay, so that's the ZEP auth secret that we would put, which is this right here. All right, I'm just showing you a dummy one, of course. And then once you put that in your environment variables, then you can save that. Make sure you save those environment variables. And before you obviously, so yeah, and then once you save that, you're going to Docker compose down. Okay, so I'll show you that command, and I'll leave like brief instructions as well in the description down below. So if you're having trouble following along, you'll have text step by step telling you what to do. So once again, Docker compose down once you change your environment variables. So you could nano.env to go into your environment variables, change those, make sure you get that code in that we got from JWT, and then Docker compose down, and then Docker compose up -d to restart your ZEP server, ZEP application. Okay, once you do that, you'll have everything set up with ZEP. From that point on, what you would do is you could go to n8n. If you go to home here, there's a place where it says credentials. You could click on credentials. I'm just going to show you, because if you could add credentials that way, or you can also add credentials within the workflow builder, which I'm just going to show you how to do just because I'm already here. So I would just search for ZEP, and you can see I already have a ZEP account right here. Let's just pretend I didn't have a ZEP account. What you would do is you would come here, you would paste in that that secret, that auth secret would go right here for the API key, and your API URL would be your IP address and that port. All right, so, or like if you have it connected to a domain, either one of the two, but let's just say for simple use, you're putting it your IP address, http:// and then the ZEP URL right here, this URL, and don't put the /. Oh yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention, so this is actually important. If you're having trouble going to your ZEP dashboard at the start, I didn't mention this when I first said this, but you actually have to go to your IP address and then the port. So let's say port 3000 or whatever, and then /admin. So I'll leave that in the link in the description too, just so you guys got that /admin. But when you're in n8n, you don't want to put /admin. You just want to put your IP, like HTTP, this IP address, port 3000. That's it. Okay, hope that makes sense. I'm going to cancel that. Close. Cool. Because I already have my ZEP account. Now you should have your ZEP account connected into n8n. Now, from that point, I'm going to walk you through this is like a very basic reg system in n8n, but it works. And yeah, you can use n8n. First off, I'll just quickly say, ZEP isn't the only vector store, of course, that you can use with n8n. Like if I detach this right here, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. If I delete this line, if I click here, there's multiple vector stores. We got in-memory vector store, Pinecone vector store, Qdrant vector store, Supabase vector store, and ZEP vector store. So I've done a couple videos on Supabase and ZEP. Really like those two. Pinecone's good. Qdrant's I actually haven't really used too much of it, but and then in-memory store is basic. If you're just keeping it within the memory, it's really not advanced or anything. But ZEP is really good. I really like ZEP, and I really like Supabase. And yeah, I'll do more videos on different tools and whatnot in the future about n8n. Anyways, so what we're doing here is we're just starting very simple. This, I want you to keep in mind the input right here of the data and what you do with the data, as well as on both ends. This is where like you would add your own customizations. I'm just showing you test samples right here of the rag working. But then of course you could integrate this into really any workflow. Like I could connect Airtable here. I could connect my Notion. I could connect ClickUp. I could connect GoHighLevel. I could connect anything, and I could set up a rag system with it, right? And also too, with a rag, you can there's a lot of stuff you can do that's a lot more advanced than this. But anyway, so we're starting with a click action trigger, and then I'm just setting using a set node right here, and this is just dummy text, and I just paste it in a bunch of text from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. I just pasted in some of this just for the sake of this video. But of course, like I said, you could scrape a website, paste it in. You could put stuff from like something to regards to your client or a project you're working on, whatever the case may be. Anyways, next we're adding a Zep vector store node. So click on, you search Zep vector store, and when you may see it's like not this size, so you want to click on it, and you're going to want to change the operation mode, make sure it's insert documents. Okay, once you do that, you can add an option. I already added the option here, but I'm just adding an embedding dimensions. Okay, so with what we're doing here, like I said, you could use Ollama, you could use OpenAI, you could use HuggingFace, you could use really anything, and different embedding models, as well as different just models in general. Some of them have recommended or specific dimensions or chunking sizes, sequence sizes that you want to look up and you may want to abide by, or whatnot. So for example, like if I'm using, this is Nomic, this is the one I have installed on Ollama, but I'm just showing you on HuggingFace. If I scroll all the way down, you can see we got the sequence length here, dimensions right here, 768 for this one. There's different ones right here. You can also check on the MTEB leaderboard if you're like using HuggingFace models for embedding. If you're using OpenAI for embedding, there's also, they have a full section on embedding in their help center, so you can check that out. If you're curious about, like, if you're using a specific embedding model and you don't know what dimension size or chunk size you should use, just ask ChatGPT or Perplexity to give you a rough idea. Or if you really don't know and you can't find it, like when I would Google it, but if you don't really know, you don't find it, you could copy some of the settings I'm using here. And yeah, so I'm using 768 dimension embeddings, and then you're going to click on embeddings here. And if I show you this, we could add, Cohere embeddings, AWS Bedrock, Azure, Google Palm, Gemini, HuggingFace, Mistral, OpenAI. For this case, especially in the spirit of the video I made yesterday on showing you how to connect Ollama with n8n, we're going to use an Ollama embedding, because why not, right? So I'm just using the Nomic embed model. If you want to know how to set up Ollama on your n8n instance and use it, check out my video I did yesterday, link in the description. Then for the document, you're going to just use the I'll show you what this looks like. I just want to make this very simple for you guys. The default document loader. There's other options too. GitHub document loader. We're going to use default one, right? And it's in JSON for a type of data, right? And then we're going to, for text splitter, I'll show you, there's different options, right? But we're going to use a token text splitter or token splitter. And chunk size, I'm doing 512 by, and then the overlap is 100, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much what, this is like the insertion into the vector store, all right? So there's really two parts of a RAG system. This is us inserting data into the vector store. If you don't know how a RAG works, I'll quickly go over it. So we have data we want to be able to do retrieval augmented generation on. We're sending it to our vector store. Then the embedding model is embedding it into what? Dimensions. And we're using a token splitter to chunk it into specific sizes. So 512 tokens, and the chunk overlap, I'm not gonna like over explain everything. I just want to quickly explain this, but chunk overlap is 100. Okay. From that point on, then we're able to do the actual retrieval part, or the query part. Okay. So this is how part one works. And like I said, keep in mind, this is where you can, like, you could set a node here and like send it to another workflow. Like this is where you could use like tools and stuff. I'm not, I'm just saying this quickly. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. I'll do more videos showing more in-depth stuff. But yeah, I just trying to spark some of your imagination as to what you can do with this. Okay, so this data could come from anything, just that. All right, so now we're doing the right side, which is the querying. So I just put a basic chat trigger right here that we're going to use to test it after And then this is our question and answer chain. So if you go to advanced AI options, so I love n8n, they already have like all the LangChain advanced AI type stuff. You would select question and answer chain right here. Boom. Next, we're going to use our model, which in this specific case, I'm just using the OpenAI chat model, GPT-4o. You can use anyone, really doesn't matter. You could use Ollama, you could use HuggingFace, you could use literally anything. You could use Anthropic. Okay. Now for the retriever, we're doing a vector store. Okay. And what vector store are we using? Of course, we're using ZEP. Now, one other thing I forgot to mention is important. In your ZEP, on the left and the right, you want to make your own collection name. So you're going to name your collection name. You can name it whatever. You'll see once you, like if we go here, I'm going to delete this just because we don't need it right now. And as you'll see, there's no collections here. That's okay, because once we upsert it in there, it's going to create that collection name with whatever you put here. So for us, we're just naming it test. And you're going to want to put that same name over here. So we got test. You're going to want to put the same embedding dimensions that you used. And then you could literally just copy the, like you could copy the embedding model over here too. But, or just set it up. It's really simple. Put Ollama, same thing. Nomic embedding model we're using right here. Nomic embed. And that's pretty much it. So just to recap one more time, just to make sure you got everything set up. You got the vector store on the left, embedding model, default data loader with the chunk size, token splitter is the chunk size. And then you have your collection name here. You have your collection name here, the embedding model here, your AI model here, vector store. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, you can like expand upon this, make it more advanced, of course, add it into your, n8n workflows. But anyways, let's go ahead and just test this real quick. Going to boom. So now we're actually going to upsert the data in. So set the field. We're just testing it. Boom, boom, boom. You can see it's embedding right here. Give it a second. Okay, so it was a success. If we go into our ZEP right here and we just refresh, we'll see that we got the test collection. Okay, so test collection, we got 5 documents, 5 embeddings, index, etc. embedding with, we can see all that good stuff. So we're good. Now let's test the chat. So the retrieval side of things. What is the name of scene 3 and 5 from Act 1, 3, 1, 3, and 4. All right, and here are the acts right here. So scene from name of scene 3 and 5 from 1, 3, and 4. So we have Act 1, 3 is this room in Capulet's house, and then 5 is a hall in Capulet's house, and then scene 3 we got, or Act 3 we got scene Friar Lawrence's cell, and then 5 an open gallery, boom, and then Act 5 scene 3 is Juliet's chamber, and then scene 5 is Juliet's chamber, Juliet on the bed. So it did it correctly, and we can even see the logs for the last message. We can see vector store retriever, we can see all that, and then input output, we can see the ZEP, what happened there, as well as the OpenAI right here. As you can see, it pulled this chunk and got the information and got it in the output. All right, guys, so hope that helps you. Hope that gives you some context and some good learning and implementation that you can do right now on how to set up a RAG using ZEP. If you have any questions whatsoever at all regarding any bit of this process, first off, check the link in the description to go over everything. Make sure you follow the instructions correctly. If at that point you still ever having issues, let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to assist you. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel, we upload videos every single day on AI, automation, business growth, AI coding, marketing, sales, GoHighLevel, all that good stuff. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you got some value here, definitely appreciate it. Definitely helps out. Also too, guys, if you haven't already joined our free community, stridecommunity.com, our free Facebook group and Discord channel will be linked down below, stridecommunity.com. Other than that, guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.